On today's episode of Identity, two African human rights lawyers, Khuraisha and Kago, join us in our coffee shop for a chat. In our regional story, we head to Tembisa to experience the baPedi culture and music. Then in our What's Happening segment, we feature an app that will give your brain a workout, and we also check out a movie, Do You Believe? Then we end today's episode with a powerful poem by Busisiwe Khanyile.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on Identity, your favorite multi-faith youth magazine show, right here on SABC 1 Mzansians. I'm Viwe. On the 25th of May, the entire African continent celebrates the most significant day, which is called Africa Day. On this particular day, we commemorate the founding of the Organization of African Unity in 1963, which is presently recognized as the African Union, AU. The African Union consists of 53 member states and has brought together the continent of Africa to collectively address the challenges it faces. To enlighten us more from a youth perspective about the significance of Africa Day, two students from the University of Pretoria who are studying human rights and democratization in Africa join me. With me today is Khuraisha and Kago who are both law students and have joined the Human Rights and Democratization in Africa, a unique program to which 25 individuals from African countries with a degree and preferably have experience in the field of human rights are admitted. Prepare to be informed and inspired. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on Identity.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Sure, that's a wonderful CV and titles you guys have.
Thanks a lot.
Kago, please introduce yourselves to our viewers and let us know who you are and what you do, and I'll move over to you, Khuraisha.
My name is Kago and Khuraisha. I was born in Francistown, Botswana, where my ancestry is. I completed my law degree in 2014, University of Botswana. As a human rights activist, a political activist, I joined the Center for Human Rights as a student in Human Rights and Democracy in Africa, and I find myself in South Africa today, and I love it very much.
Thank you so much. And Khuraisha, who are you and where are you from?
My name is Khuraisha and I recently completed my undergraduate degree, LLB, at the University of Pretoria. I'm from Pretoria, as I said, and I've always had an interest in child law and refugee law, so I decided to pursue the master's program that the center offers.
All right. And tell us about human rights and democratization. What's that all about?
As we've been extensively taught this year and began to appreciate, it's quite a symbiotic relationship. Human rights and democratization are integral to each other, and basically what the center tries to do and what we as activists hope to do one day is further the cause of human rights throughout Africa indeed, but as well to the rest of the world. And so far we find that one of the greatest vehicles through which this can be achieved is indeed democracy. And many countries in Africa have been reported to, suffer under dictatorship, etc., huge human rights violations they're under. So we hope that with a move towards democracy, we can hopefully realize these human rights that we all deserve.
Kago, for you, I'd be interested to find out, why is it important for us to have democracy in Africa and protected human rights?
It is very important to have democracy in Africa. Experience has shown that human rights flourish under a democratic dispensation. It is very rare, in fact impossible, to have human rights protection under dictatorship. Therefore, the two, as my colleague has said, they are very symbiotic. Therefore, we need to instill democratic practices in Africa to ensure that human rights flourish in Africa.
And talking about human rights, Khuraisha, there's been a spat of xenophobic attacks in South Africa, sadly, in short spaces of time. What is it about our society? What are we saying about ourselves? What is the problem?
It is indeed a sad state of affairs, but I think that xenophobia, there's something much deeper. There are definitely deeper causes that we as a country have to look towards, because it certainly tarnishes the image that we have come to show of ourselves and that we hereby portray. But I do think that we really need to look into our immigration law as well, and just social attitudes towards the problem in general. The way that political leaders address this, the way that we as society respond to these people who are, at the end of the day, people just like us, who are there for us, and we should be there for them.
It's interesting that you bring in that element, because Kago and yourself are on a program which brings in different types of people all over the world, especially in Africa. Kago, how important is it to get along with your fellow neighbor or your fellow African, especially in light of xenophobic attacks? And tell us about your experience with you being in this program.
The experience has been simply fantastic. You meet with classmates from South Africa to Egypt, Ghana, Uganda, Somaliland, you name any African country, and that diversity, it is very enriching, very enlightening. You get to learn different experiences, you get to learn different backgrounds, and we merge and we are one from one continent, and our lives are pretty much easier when we interact from different African countries.
Khuraisha, Kago touched on something very important. He spoke about different backgrounds, and I know that you're Muslim. So what do you do in terms of, spreading what you know, your values and ethics, into the work that you do?
I mean, I think the most valuable thing that I've learned being in this diverse program is actually the intersectionality of religions. Yes, I'm a Muslim, but my values and ethics coincide with that of Christianity, with that of traditional African culture and values. At the end of the day, we all believe in love, we all believe in peace, and more than tolerance, actual appreciation and valuing a person. So I think with these notions, if we allow our work to be infiltrated with these values, it will definitely be more than mere superficial human rights activism that we do, but something that is in itself rewarding, but also helps the person who we are working with to give them something back, to genuinely make a difference in their lives and achieve these human rights ideals.
Kago, what role does spirituality have in us coming with a solution for these xenophobic attacks?
Spirituality plays a very central part in solving these issues. One, you know that African traditional values such as Ubuntu, in Botswana we say Boto, Moto ke moto ka moto, ka batho ba bangwe. Therefore, you are because I am. Therefore, spirituality plays a very central role in terms of reminding us who we are, sharing a common ancestry. Therefore, we need to unite, love each other, live coexistent peacefully. So spirituality, yes, and we need spiritual leaders to come into the forefront to address these issues in communities, because they have a large role to play in terms of educating people on what a human being is. Before you see a difference, you see a commonality. Before you see a foreigner, you see a human being. So spirituality, it does have a great role to play in this issue.
Khuraisha, how do we practically do that though? I mean, we're young people and we are very active on social media networks, and we say all these things and we sing the dance about xenophobia. But what exactly can we do practically to contribute to a change in xenophobic attacks?
I think everything starts with the people. You as a person have the potential to influence someone that you know. So I think education is a very, very key element of spreading this notion that xenophobia is bad, not a notion, but actually something that we need to address. So definitely using social media, just speaking about it, reading about it, writing about it. You never know who's reading what you have written. That could really inspire someone, that could change the way they perceive something. So human rights education in general is a big thing. And then it has to accelerate and move towards the higher levels, taken up by lecturers, where you have the power and the influence to change entire mindsets, to change entire legal cultures. And I mean, we have a wonderfully transformative judiciary here in South Africa who, as Kago said, makes use of spirituality and Ubuntu and transformative constitutionalism. Through all of these, hopefully law itself can transform the perceptions of people.
To keep it a bit light now, we're going to have fun and games coming up, and I have a game for the both of you, right? I'll ask you to identify the people whose famous quotes belong to. So I'll read a quote and you need to figure out who actually said it. Look at Khuraisha looking at me like, oh no. Okay. The time is always right to do what is right.
Just to be Gandhi.
I have a dream.
Martin Luther.
Okay. To be a great champion, you must believe you are the best. If you're not, you pretend to be. So this is a champion, boxer, legendary boxer.
The guy with the tattoo.
Muhammad Ali, yes. Be faithful in small things because it is in them that your strength lies. Humanitarian, Mother Teresa.
Kago, you're on a roll. Kago's on a roll.
It always seems impossible until it's done. This one
Mandela.
is easy. Nelson Mandela. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on Identity today and inspiring us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was lovely.
Khuraisha Patel and Kago are gearing up to bringing peace and unity to our continent. And Malcolm X was quoted as saying, "You can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. You can't hate Africa and not hate yourself." Lixesha lokuya ezivenkileni hlala nathi ngoba nxa sibuya siya East Rand ukuyobona imvelaphi nomculo yebaPedi. Emva koko sijonge i-app eza kusebenzisa amathombo engqondo kwaye sijonge nebali lethu Do You Believe. Ungayindawo siyabuya.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Welcome back to your favorite multi-faith youth magazine show with me, Viwe. If you've just tuned in, you've missed out on a very educational chat with Khuraisha Patel and Kago from Human Rights and Democratization in Africa as we celebrate Africa Day tomorrow. Kodwa ungene ngexesha ngoba siza kunibonisa ibali lethu elanamhlanje. The baPedi people are part of a 7 million strong Sotho speaking group that live mostly in the Limpopo and Northwest provinces of the country. Their origins can be traced back to the Sotho people who migrated south from the Great Lakes more than 500 years ago. But today we're going to experience their culture and musical taste in the East Rand. Enjoy.
This is my identity.
Ra le dumedisa mesong e mebotse babogi ba identity. Nna ke patronela wa ga Tshehla mologadi ka sereto. Ko mongwe wa baso ba ileng gore ka nnete ba rata go tsweletsa segaga bo bona pele. Batho ba ileng gore ba rata go bona bogwa jwa maAfrika Borwa a ka nnete bo tswelela pepeneneng. Ke leloko la mogatlo wa go ikema wa baPedi culture and music. Ka gona ke re baso ba tswelele pele go netefatsa gore segaga bo bona sa lotiwa gape le gore sa khushishwa. Le hono re tla be re amogela ebile re boledisana le moetapele wa Mokoni Cultural Group e ba go mohumagadi Ramusu Raisibe e ba go Pheladi ka sereto.
Mologadi ke a leboga lebile ke a bua ke a tamisha ke a dumedisha. Mokoni Cultural Group ile a re tšatši le lengwe e sepela e ya ka kua fasillela la ga masemola e le go ka thaba mpšhe ra kwa moropa o galagala le go moropa wa Sepedi ra rata go tseba gore na moropa wa Sepedi o lla ka ira khwetša le gore o lla gana ka kua thaba mpšhe ra khwetša le ga ba dira setšwe se leng gore se a re kgatla
ke maele afe goba ke tlhotlheletše efe yeo ka go e fa baswa gore ba tsebe segaga bo bona e se go baswa fela baswa ba Afrika Borwa ka bophara.
Ke be ke duma ge nkebe bana ba ka gono ba re bona ge ntse re dia mmino a setšo le bona bana ba rena ba batona ba ba ruta ba bannyane ba gore e be moloko e le kwa gore ba tsebe setšo sa ga bo bona se se ke ba sa ya felo se ke ba sa hwelela gobane rena ga meotlo tšhipi lile ke mollo ba re tloga e tloga gale modiša a kgomo o tswa le yona šakeng gobane letlhaka le lao le kobe e se le lenyana ba re thutela bogolo ya roba.
Na ke mebinwana efe ya setšo yeo le dira go le hono ka re go bina gona ra bona la bina na ke mebino efe o e tswelela go ka re ga setšo sa geno?
E re ke thoma go leboga se se patronela mebino ye re binago ke mebino ye mengwe e mebose kudu re kgantšha ka setšo sa rena sa baPedi. Ke tlo thoma pele ka mmino o ba sa tšong go bina e le mmino wa Mpepetlwane. Mmino wa Mpepetlwane ke mmino o leng gore o bina ke magarebe ba dipsina ka setšo sa gabo bona. Ra ba le mmino wa Kiba. Mmino wa Kiba ke mmino wa masogana le bona ga ba šetse ba bapala mola mebileng ba foga dilo tše dintšhi ko mebileng gomme ba e kgantšha ka sona setšo sa gabo bona.
Sesimatshepo ge re tswela pele nke re no bolela ka melotsana yeo le e dirisago. Ke melotsana efe?
Re na le melotsane e mengwe e mebose kudu wa tseba re na le moropa ka gare ga setšo sa gabo rena. Re na le dinaka ke moka re na le mangope dipela le tšona di phile matla ka gare ga setšo sa gabo rena.
Setšo sa rena re se tšweletša ka tlhompho le lerato go bontšha batho ka moka gore rena re le maAfrika re sa dumela tumelong ye bana ba rena re nakang gore ba tsebe gore setšo se ke bokgwa jwa bomagola rena jo ba re tlogeletše go jona bao ba ile go ba re ruta gore ngwana wa moAfrika ga a bee dikobo ka godimo ga dikhudu.
Go bohlokwa go kanang gore baswa ba Afrika Borwa ka bophara ba latele sa ga bo bona ba se lote ba se tšwetše pele. O ka reng go baswa?
Nka rata go hlohleletša baswa gore setšo sa ga borena ke gore santse o ipontšhe gore o motho wa mohuta mang. Wa bona le mabenta ba apara sebenta go bontšha gore ke mabenta. O ka se gotše lebenta le apere sepedi ge le fihlile dinageng tša ka ntle. O tshwana le nna ka mokgwa ke apereng ge ke le mola ke bina ke bontšha batho gore nna ke nna wa mohlobo mang. Ba bantši baswa ba palela e fela ke rata go ba hlohleletša gore ba dire go tshwana le nna.
Wena mogedi wa identity ke a holofela gore o tloga o itumetse ebile o ipsinne ka gona metsi a mogako ka go kwa segageno dithuto tseo ba go rutile go tsona ka moka go tswa go nna patronela wa ga Tshetla mologadi ka sereto ka re ke a leboga go fitlhela ga re kopana gape letsatsing le le latelang. Back to studio.
This is my identity.
Sibulela kumsasazi wethu ngokusivumela sibone kwaye siqonde incasa yemvelaphi yebaPedi. Let's take one more break. When we return, we bring you this week's media review segment where we check out an app that is sure to test your brain and then review a Christian movie titled Do You Believe? Don't go anywhere because we're staying right here for you.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
You're back with i-Dentity. Thanks for staying with me, Viwe. If you've just joined us, you missed out on a chat I had earlier with young lawyers from Human Rights and Democratization in Africa, and then we learned more about baPedi culture and music. Now it's time to get your smart devices out to join me for the latest media reviews in our What's Happening segment. Namhlanje sijonga i-review yethu, iPeak. Le app yadalwa ukuba iwasebenzise amathambo engqondo noba uneminyaka ingaphi okanye wenza umsebenzini. Masiyibone. Play smart, feel sharp. Get your brain going with a workout. Peak is a personalized self-improvement app specially designed to help everyone reach their optimum level, regardless of age, profession or lifestyle, and to apply these improved memory, mental agility, language, focus, problem-solving skills, reaching goals, and building healthy habits in the real world. Findings have shown that critical parts of the brain and its operational mechanisms can and do change in ways that impact our cognitive, professional, social, and personal development. The objective of Peak Brain Training is to provide users with a way to reach their full potential when it comes to memory, language, focusing, and other cognitive skills. These skills can be developed in people of all ages with all lifestyles and professions. and will be highly useful in performing optimally in all areas of life. The games included are developed by highly regarded experts from Princeton and Yale in the fields of research science, neuroscience, and cognitive psychology to ensure that you have both an engaging as well as rewarding experience. Peak Brain Training is one of the best apps available on smartphones that will help you sharpen your cerebral folds no matter where you are. If you are in the market for an app that is designed by experts in the field and are serious about improving your cognitive skills, then this app is a must-have. This app has 24 games, which is sure to keep you mentally sharp. Hope you check it out soon. That brings us to the end of today's episode of Identity. Remember, you can get in touch with us by sending an email to identitytvshow@gmail.com. We're also active on the social networking scene. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, search for Identity TV Show and connect with us. To help me end off today's show on a high note is a gorgeous young lady who's going to recite a poem to commemorate Africa Day, which is tomorrow. Her name is Busisiwe Khanyile. That's it from me, Viwe, and the rest of the Identity team. It's goodbye and God bless.